Muskegon Channel. It's Andy O'Reilly down in Spring Lake today, and this is Dr. Rob Davidson, who is in the hunt for the U.S. Congress of our area. I'm going to be honest with you, I wanted to grab Rob early on, not only for his candidacy, because I kind of believe in a lot of the stuff he's saying. I wanted to talk to Rob because I think you're going to get pretty busy pretty quick with media a lot bigger than what I'm doing, which is a good thing, but I'm sure you're going to keep time for the smaller guys too.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
First off, you're an ER doctor up in Fremont.
Yep.
Great job, great career.
I love it.
Great family. I mean, a nice place you got going on here. Why on earth would you want to take this leap and jump into politics from medicine?
Oh, there's not enough therapy in the world.
Right?
Talk about that one, right?
I could put you in touch with my shrink.
Yeah,
I got one. Yeah.
You know, I mean, it truly started related to what I do every day.
Sure.
I'm an ER doc. I'm an ER doc in a kind of a rough area in Nuevo County. It's a pretty poor area. And a lot of the patients I see every day, we have conversations. We talk about their lives. We talk about their lives in regards to their health care and why they're there. Yeah. But you end up having conversations about kids in school and kind of life in general. And so I really value the role healthcare plays in their lives, because that's how I get into their lives. And so when I started seeing our Congress talking about repealing the Affordable Care Act, and not trying to fix it, not trying to make it better, but just saying that it was broken and we're going to get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
And then saw what they planned to get rid of it and what they wanted to replace it with, that really perked me up. Now, I got, after the election in November, I got more involved, and I'm a school board member, and my kids are public schools. So when DeVos was named as the Secretary of Education, we had some protests, certainly against that, certainly pro-public education. But once healthcare became the big topic, it really got me more involved, I would say.
Kind of lit the fire.
It did. So I attended a town hall with Huizenga, our current representative, and he called on me. I was in the front row, and he called on me. We had about a 10-minute debate on healthcare.
I think I've seen the picture.
There's lots of, that's the one in Grand Haven. That was the second town hall of me and my scrubs, because I was going to work that night. This was up in Baldwin, 500 people. It was February 26th. And we talked for about 10 minutes and had a little debate. And I held my own. People recognized that. People were cheering. People were shouting. One guy shouted, "You should run in 2018. Lots of people came up and patted you on the back, shake your hand. Are you going to run? Are you going to run? And of course, I didn't decide to run then.
Yeah.
But over the next month, there was a private meeting with Huizenga and some other medical providers talking about healthcare. Had about 10 of us in the room. And then another town hall, this time in Grand Haven. That's the picture you saw, 1,000 people.
I'm getting licked. If you see a foot moving, I'm getting licked down here. That's all right, no big deal. We had this other town hall, and again, he called on me. I'm in the front row, and he brought up our meeting we had, saying, well, I thought that was a very productive meeting. Yeah.
And I think he said something like, I think I saw the doctor here somewhere, and he's looking around, and I was right in front of him. I said, I'm right here, Representative.
Yeah.
And so he said, oh, yeah, come on up. Don't you think that was a good meeting? And I said, well, I went on to have another debate with a guy, and at this time there's about 1,000 people sitting in Lakeshore Middle School in Grand Haven, and more of the you should run. And since the first one in late February through to this one in early March, I was thinking about it. I was thinking, maybe, I don't know. I never thought about this. I want to be in politics. I follow politics. I enjoy thinking about it. I watched The West Wing for all 7 seasons. Don't watch House of Cards. I tried watching it. That's a little too scary. And eventually it got to a point where I talked to my family, of course, and my wife and my kids. And
first conversation you always have to have.
And everyone said, we can do this. We can do the campaign, which is going to be and I'm finding out already, it's just going to be so much of my time. I'm still working a little bit less to do this, but I still have 3 kids. I'm still married. Mm-hmm. Been married for 23 years, and I plan on having that go till the day I die.
I know the feeling.
And yet this has taken a lot of time. And they said, yes, we're in it. We're in for this. And then, should I get elected? I mean, that's a big change in my life.
Huge.
I'll be gone 5 days a week, about 40 weeks out of the year.
Yep.
Back in district doing events on weekends and during recess time. And so we decided the issues that we care about were under attack.
Yeah.
Healthcare, but not just healthcare. To me, it's the healthcare debate informs so much of how I think about the role of government in people's lives.
Okay.
What they want to do with healthcare, essentially the American Health Care Act that Huizenga voted for, that they did celebrate with a kegger on the west lawn of the White House. Basically, it's going to provide a tax cut to the wealthiest Americans. take 22 million people off of insurance, essentially Medicaid and other types of insurance, and make it more expensive for everyone else.
Doesn't seem right.
And I said, wait a minute. And I view healthcare to me as something that we, the public, should expect that we provide for one another. And if you want to say government, I just think the word public, and government is part of that, but we're all part of that. You know, 307 million people in this country, we all should be in this together to say, wait a minute, we still should not be okay with 30 million people being without insurance still. We shouldn't be okay with people getting kicked off Medicaid because they want to give a tax cut to the rich. The current system isn't working, I know that. You know, the Affordable Care Act was a big, big step in the right direction. We need universal health care. We need everybody to be covered with health care that they can afford.
Yeah.
My family, we have a $4,000 deductible for our health insurance. Well, for most things you might go to the doctor for, that's not really insurance. That's just you're paying that upfront cost.
Yeah.
I know people with $10,000 deductibles, people who don't go to the hospital because they know it's going to cost them that money. Even folks I know, patients I've seen who have $150 copay just to go to the ER, they say, it's too expensive.
Can't afford it.
It's 2 weeks of groceries.
Yeah.
You know, you say, why did you wait so long to come in? That's a lot of money. And so with all of that going on, the fact that they want to go in the opposite direction and make it worse for people, I mean, dear Lord, we need to fight against, so part of this race is fighting against those kinds of attacks, but it's also very much fighting for what I believe in, which is that strong sense of public, that we, you know, all boats rise together. The trickle-down theory was a theory that has been debunked time and again, both here and everywhere else they've tried it. And I just don't understand, beyond pure politics and pure pandering to a donor base that keeps these people getting elected time after time, to me that is the only rationale for a trickle-down theory of how this should work.
What kind, I mean, because you're in the business,
Yep.
I mean, are you feeling any backlash from the people that do make a lot of money off healthcare? I mean, you're looking at insurance, you're looking at the hospitals, you're looking at, I mean, there are some, you know, they're big business.
The American Hospital Association, which is the biggest organization representing all hospitals, came out against the American Health Care Act, as did the AMA. So the people who actually do the medicine part of medicine thought it was a terrible idea. And they do better when more people have coverage.
They do, okay.
They do, because I love emergency medicine. I love part of it is that there's a federal law that says anyone who comes in gets treated.
Yeah.
It didn't always used to be that way until someone in Chicago in a private hospital died on the steps of the hospital from a gunshot wound because they said they were a private hospital. And the federal government came in and said, no, anyone comes in, you treat them. Problem is, if they don't have insurance, they get a bill.
Yeah.
If they can't pay that bill, that's why 60% of all bankruptcies in our country are related to healthcare.
Yeah.
So if they can't pay that bill, well, the hospital loses, or they pass it on to somebody else, and then we all pay for it. And so, you know, I haven't had specific backlash from any one group in particular.
It's early.
I'm sure that, well, I look at Huizenga's donors already for
Sure.
2000, for this year, for the 2018 election. He's already got PAC money from big pharma. He's already got PAC money from big insurance companies, from big banks. We forget how banks play into the healthcare schemes of today.
Yeah.
So our current plan for my family is a high deductible plan, $4,000, and you get the HSA, the health savings account. Well, that's basically a healthcare IRA. It's a good savings instrument. You know, it's pre-tax, all this stuff. It's good for people who can afford to fund it, but it's really good for the banks who administer it and for the brokers who sell this. I mean, it's just another product that they can sell and make money off of. So these folks are lining up behind, you know, to give Huizenga money.
Yeah.
I got the numbers somewhere how much, but you know, every pharmaceutical company with a PAC, I guarantee, is put money into Huizenga's campaign.
Yeah.
Some already have, others will. They won't be for me. I won't accept it anyways, but they're not going to want me, because one of the biggest problems in healthcare, cost, is big pharma. It's the third most profitable industry in the entire United States.
Isn't it something?
And I just had a meeting in Newaygo last night, and it was a mixed crowd. It was all the elected officials of the county. It's Democrats, Republicans. Some people probably have a red hat at home that says "Make America Great Again," and yet I'm willing to talk to these folks, and I need to talk to these folks because they said, well, you know, what about, you know, government, you know, take over healthcare? I said, you know, this isn't about government taking over anything. It's just about what we expect of each other.
Yeah.
You know, this sense of the public. That sense of the public has been trashed ever since 1980 with Ronald Reagan saying that government is broken. We need to get back to the days where we look out for each other. You know, I mean, I can look out for my family, and we can look after our neighbors, and in our churches we can look after our congregation. But a lot of people fall through the cracks of that system. When you live in certain parts of Muskegon Heights, parts of Ottawa County, I mean, your neighbors maybe can't look out for you so well. Or if you don't belong to a particular church, someone needs to look out for you. And I think that is a role that government has to play, looking out for everybody.
Yeah. Talk about education a little bit.
Yeah.
School board.
I'm on the school board at Spring Lake.
Yeah.
Been 2.5 years now. Got elected in 2014. I believe in public education.
Sure.
I believe that it is an investment in the future. When we invest in our kids at that level, K through 12, we're investing in the future of our entire country. An educated electorate is going to make better choices in who they elect. It's going to get people to run for office, and they're going to make the smart choices. They're going to believe in science, and they're going to make their decisions based on reality and not based on what someone tells them over and over and over again.
Yeah. One of the things is because I'm running, as you know,
Yeah,
we've seen each other in a parade or two.
Yeah.
And one of the things I'm seeing a lot of too is the need for more skilled labor. I mean, the 4-year education, 4-year degree path is great, and there are kids that are in tune for that.
Yep.
I wasn't one of those students.
Yeah.
I was not the kid that could sit down and go to college and focus on that 4-year degree and then carry it on into graduate school and all that kind of stuff. And I picked my path. However, I could have gone to the family trades, which would have been pipe fitting and welding and all that other kind of stuff. Yeah. And I probably would maybe be your neighbor in Spring Lake here, which wouldn't be a bad thing to have. Yeah. But so much emphasis has been put on that 4-year degree at this point now. To me, I think, where do you stand on that kind of thing? Do you agree?
Yeah, here's what I think. I think every kid should be given the opportunity to do whatever is their passion. Yeah. Whatever. And I tell my kids this about going to college someday. Like, what do you want to study? My daughter, she's a junior. She wants to study music.
Nice.
She loves it. She wants to be a music teacher.
Cool.
So, absolutely.
Yeah.
Why should we pigeonhole anyone into anything that we think they should do? Or why should we use that next step just for a sense of, well, what job is it going to get me?
Right.
It should be, what do you enjoy? What are you good at? Everybody should have the opportunity to do what they're good at.
Sure.
Because in that way, we're all going to be better.
Yeah.
I want my plumber, my electrician, I want person working on our roads or building our bridges to be skilled in what they do. I want them to enjoy that and to have had good training doing that.
Yeah.
So absolutely. I mean, I think everyone who wants to go to college should be able to afford it. And it's too expensive. And in particular for someone who says, boy, that's not for me. It isn't what I want to do, and it isn't something I think I'm going to be good at.
Yeah.
Well, why on earth should they ever take on $80,000+ of debt to be doing something they don't want to do?
It's huge. Yeah. It's a big thing.
Yeah, we don't talk about enough about that. I know Senator Stabenow lately has come out more in favor of building up those skilled trades and having more training programs. And absolutely, that needs to go hand in hand with kids who want to go to college.
Absolutely. What are some of the other key issues that you're...
I think overall wages is a massive issue, and it cuts across all of this. If we have more people going into skilled trades, we're going to build it up. I think that the union base of this country has been abandoned. It's been abandoned by our government in the state. It's been abandoned by our government at the federal level. It's been abandoned by the representative that I'm trying to replace, and mostly because the people that are funding the campaigns of these people, they know they can keep more of their money if they don't have to pay a fair wage for a hard day's work.
Yeah.
And so right now there's petitions going around, and I hope that you do your PSAs to folks watching about the repeal of the prevailing wage.
Yes.
People walking around petitions who don't know anything about it saying to people, hey, you want to cut your taxes, sign the petition.
Yeah.
Well, what they're saying is we want to get rid of prevailing wage. Prevailing wage, as you know, and I probably a lot of you folks do, it says that anyone working on a state project will get paid the county level union wages for that project.
Yep.
And what they want to do is get rid of that, let them pay whatever they want. The problem is, we know in states where they've gotten rid of prevailing wage, workers make less. The contracts don't cost any less, so the state saves no money. Somebody's getting that money, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the workers are making less, and the billionaires and the large corporations that are running these joints are getting all that cash.
I learned the hard way. I came back. I did a year in NASCAR after my radio career, which was awesome. Yeah. And I came back to work in an agency, and I was making $10 an hour. And I was trying to fix a website that was supposed to yield about $4 million a year for this company. Wow. And you know what? When your house goes under Obamacare because you're not making enough that's a hard reality to face. Yeah. Yeah. And the wages in all of Michigan need to go up.
They do.
If people are working for a full day's work, they should be paid adequately.
They should. Totally. And we, the right to work is one of the worst things that happen to the workers, to union workers, but also to non-union workers in the state. Because we know that when union participation is up, the wages of those union workers are up, but the wages of everybody go up.
Yep.
Everybody benefits from that. and the economy does better because you have people who actually can buy the things that they're making. I mean,
Yeah.
dear Lord, Henry Ford, he didn't do it for this reason, but he was
No.
the guy who instituted the $5 workday.
Yep.
And his was more about keeping, and that's also a good byproduct, right? You
Yeah.
keep people working for you. You have these people in skilled trades who do what they do well. If you pay them well,
They can buy your
they
car.
can stay with you. My parents owned a business, only had 5 employees. They were not a union shop, but they worried about their workers more than they did themselves. At the
Yeah.
end of the year, they worried about getting a Christmas bonus to their 5 employees rather than taking their final paycheck.
Yep.
And guess what? Their employees stuck with them for years and years and years. There's
Yeah.
loyalty there. People want to be loyal to companies. You don't see that as much anymore. People hop around chasing the extra buck an hour rather than staying with a company. My grandpa worked for GM for 45 years
Yeah.
as a UAW member. And my grandmother, 20 years after his death, was still alive at the age of 92, getting some pension benefit and some healthcare benefits
And that's
related to
something.
that work.
Yeah.
She was able to live and then die in dignity because of that work and that contract he had both with the union and with GM and really with our government supporting that.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's really a crime that that's been lost and that not enough people understand that strong history and what that could do for them and for
Yeah.
their kids.
Yeah. Big stuff.
Yeah.
What else? Give me a couple other. I mean, we had a couple minutes left.
Well, yeah, I mean, to me, all those issues are about how we've, as a society, we've been told by our leaders that we don't need to have that strong sense of public, that private industry will take care of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, prisons is another. That pipeline from schools to prisons is alive and well in this country. We have 5% of the population of the world and 25% of the prison population in this world. And that exactly is related to the profit that people make off prisons. The for-profit prison industry in this country, they essentially have lobbyists that write the laws that get people incarcerated in the first place. The 3 strikes and you're out, the mandatory minimums. These are written by people who benefit from people being in jail. And if we took that money that keeps all these people incarcerated and put it into education and invested in that part of them, how many more people are we going to have out there working good jobs and being productive members of society? So I feel like it's a broken record because it's really the same issue. You just have to apply it to whatever sense of public that we feel like is being taken away from it. The environment's the same way. We have this big, beautiful lake out there, Lake Michigan. That's part of why I moved back to West Michigan after I did my residency. If we leave it just to the corporate polluters to decide what they're going to do, what they're not going to do, how they're going to keep it clean, we're going to lose that lake. Look what happened to Lake Erie, and they finally got it back. Look what happened in White Lake up in Whitehall, and that's now come back. The Muskegon Lake is coming back.
The
right?
same Muskegon Lake
they
even.
killed it.
Yeah.
And so we have to, I think, have that sense of public that protects these entities that we hold so dear. Our representative is all about keeping Asian carp out in the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative, but he believes the EPA is a bunch of junk science and we doesn't deserve any federal funding. And I hate to tell him, I was a bio major, I'm a scientist at heart. That's all connected.
Yeah.
If we don't protect our skies, we don't protect our groundwater, we'll lose those lakes.
Right.
If we don't hold industry to account for some of those practices that killed White Lake, that killed Muskegon Lake, that set Lake Erie on fire so many years ago, we're just going to lose them. And then someday we're not going to be able to get them back.
Yeah. I love the way you think.
Well, thanks.
I really do, man.
I appreciate
I'll
it.
walk next to you in a parade any old day.
All right,
I got a feeling we're going to do 1 or 2 of
Good.
those over the next
Absolutely.
year. Dr. Rob Davidson, we're going to put all the links to his website and Facebook page and everything else here on the Muskegon channel as well. Thanks for a couple of minutes. I know you've got a busy year coming up, and we'll bump into each other more than once. So
let's do this again.
Best of luck to you
right.
in this run, and we'll plan on seeing you down the line, here, there, wherever.
All right.
All the details are right here on the Muskegon channel.